How's everybody doing? Jacqueline, Dr. Jacqueline Kabah Harrison here. I don't typically go live straight via YouTube, so this is a little different for me. So thank you for joining me. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about, or may not be evening for you, but wherever you are, where I am right now, I'm Eastern Standard Time. So this evening, I'm going to be talking about how your lack of self confidence and self esteem can terribly hinder your business or terribly hinder the success and growth of your business. So if you're struggling in the area of your business in terms of just things just aren't working out right, or you're not constantly meeting your monthly income goals, having trouble closing sales, then this video is for you, specifically designated for entrepreneurs, and in particular, women entrepreneurs. So if that's you, you're in this category, then check out the video. Um, One might say, how do you know? Let me just turn to my notes here. I don't want to leave anything out. How do you know, if you're a business owner, how do you know that you may be suffering in this area? So let me just give a couple of examples. One, maybe you're scared to be visible, maybe physically visible. Maybe you don't want to go live, you shy away from interviews. um Possibly maybe you think once, twice, three times before you put out any content. Like, you may have an idea and you want to keep tweaking it and tweaking it before you put it out, or you just feel some kind of way about putting out your content, your information, your offers, whatever it is, whatever type of business you're in, whether it's selling a mastermind, or selling individual coaching services, or whether it's a product, right? Whatever the case is, if you find yourself kind of reluctant to put it out there, if you have a fear of imposter syndrome, maybe you feel like you're not qualified to do what you're doing, or that maybe you're afraid to ask for the sale, or afraid to ask for a certain amount of money for a particular service. If you're struggling in that area, I don't know if you guys are familiar with something called imposter syndrome, but that's something that frequently, as entrepreneurs, we go through, right? And it could be at any stage in the business. But feeling like, again, like you're not good enough, you're not worthy, not really trusting yourself, second guessing yourself. All of those are ways that will let you know that there is work. I'm sorry, there's work that needs to be done in the area of self-confidence, self-esteem. Okay. Trying to see if I missed any of the areas. Oh, two big areas: procrastination and perfectionism. Those are also a telltale sign of needing to work and build in the area of self esteem and self confidence. Okay. Because when we're procrastinating, we're oh, it's not quite right, I got to tweak this, I got to tweak that. If I had the better camera, if I had a better funnel system, if I got the right camera equipment, the right outfit, the right background, whatever, right? Oftentimes that's under that realm of procrastination, and or trying to be perfect, perfectionism, and a lot of times they run hand in hand. But again, those are just a few things I want to throw out there, because oftentimes talking about lower self-esteem or low self-confidence, people get kind of ruffles a few feathers, and people have a tendency to feel embarrassed and or ashamed. I didn't even turn off my phone, y'all. I told you I'm not really used to doing a lot of lives nowadays. Let me just turn my phone off real quick. So those are just some general ways for you to know that it may be a good idea for you to take a look at this particular area. Okay. And again, it's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And oftentimes, when we are an entrepreneur, we've branched off. Maybe we're in a particular profession, right, for years, and we've branched off, and we're now doing for ourselves what we were once doing for someone else in a larger company. And it's very common to have a sense of doubt, or to wonder if it's going to work out. Okay, so that could be a lower, like, you need to build your confidence and self-confidence around that particular area, or that realm, like doing this particular skill. You got this. You can do it because you did it for somebody else and made them a lot of money, right? But you may lack the confidence that you can do it for yourself and actually be able to make a full-time income for doing it for yourself. So, nothing to be embarrassed about, but we do need to be aware of it so we can work on it. So, one of the there's several different steps that I typically take my clients through, as well as I took myself through them. I didn't know I was doing it, but now that I look back on it, I recognize the different steps and the different stages. So, I'm going to talk to you about a very big one. And I know you hear people say it all the time, right? Going outside of your comfort zone. But I'm here to tell you that from my own testimonial, as well as testimonials from my clients, but I'm focusing on my very own experience, my very own testimonial, right? So I'm focusing on that for tonight. And the number one piece of the puzzle for me, or the initial stepping stone, was going outside of my comfort zone. Okay. Now, I know you hear coaches talk about it all the time, but there is so much truth in that. And it's so important when you're talking about building self-confidence, is going outside of your comfort zone. Now, for a lot of us, we go outside of our comfort zone, but we don't do it. mm, Let me see. We don't do it frequently enough, or it's not. How do I say this? It's not to the magnitude that it needs to be. Like, how you hear a lot of people say, "Do it scared," right? So that's definitely a thing. It's true. The scarier it is, then I want you to gravitate towards it. Then that's really going outside of your comfort zone. Because it said there's levels to everything, right? And I want you to choose a higher level, something that you're really scared to do, really, really push yourself, and then go out and go outside of your comfort zone in that way. Okay. So, and that's a key piece for it. Not only going outside of your comfort zone, but choosing something that scares the heck out of you, right? And doing that repeatedly, and not just doing it once in a blue moon. I mean, doing it repeatedly. Okay. Just like how you plan out everything else in your business, plan that out too, to go outside of your comfort zone. So when an activity or something comes up and you think to yourself, "Ooh, I would never do that," or "I'd be too scared to do that." That's what I want you to do. Focus in on that. Okay. So for me, taking this back to the mid 90s, here I am. I'm in college and I had to take electives. And one of the electives that I chose at that time was an Afro Haitian dance class. Now, a little bit of a backdrop on that. I'm a dancer. I've danced since maybe about the age of 10, right? So, but what was different about this is I had done the traditional style dances. I had did the tap, the ballet, the jazz, even did gymnastics. I roller skated, but I had never done West African dance. I never done African dance before, period. So for me, in my mid 90s, like I said, I had to take an elective, and somehow I stumbled upon this Afro Haitian dance class. I was attending Wayne State University, and I never forget it. The teacher was very proficient in the Catherine Dunham technique. So she was doing this Afro Haitian dance class, and I thought to myself, that sounds interesting. I need some, I need to do an elective, need some extra credits. Boom, let's do the dance class, right? So I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a piece of cake because I'm a dancer. I've danced for many years. Like I said, all the contemporary stuff. I was, good at it, and figured it'd be a piece of cake. Okay. So I proceed to enroll in this Afro Haitian dance class. And let me tell you, when I got to this class, I started this class, it was like nothing I had ever experienced before. I don't know how familiar you are with African dance or any form of African dance, West African, East, Central African, whatever. It's a very different feel to it, very, very different feel to it. And again, like I said, it was like nothing I had ever done before. So I used this because, and at the time I didn't realize it, but this is looking back on it. That was me going completely outside of my comfort zone. Now, did I feel like, dang, what did I get myself into? Maybe I need to get up out of this class. Yes, I felt like that, right? But I stuck with it. So my point in saying that is that was completely outside of my comfort zone because I wasn't used to dancing barefoot. I wasn't familiar with the style of dress that was, that or how we dressed up to go to class. I was, pretty much familiar with like a leotard and tights, kind of thing, because again, coming out of the 80s, going to traditional modern and jazz classes, that's what you wore. So I wasn't used to like any loose fitting skirts or what they called or call a lapa. And depending on whatever dance style you do, the clothing that you wear to the class is different or called, different, has different terminology for it. But I wasn't used to any of that. I wasn't used to dancing barefoot. I wasn't used to dancing to live African drums. So all of that was different for me. Of course, the rhythms were like nothing that I had heard before because again, I had never been exposed to African music, whether it be contemporary, whether it be drum music, traditional drum music. I had never been exposed to any of that. So even learning to understand the language of the music, the language of the drums, much less how the rhythms or the dances fit with the rhythms, right? I had to learn all of that. So you pop me in this class. I don't understand the music. I don't understand the movements, even the style of the classes, the way the classes were set up. I wasn't familiar with that either. And oftentimes when you're dancing, songs are incorporated with the dancing. So I'm like, okay. So now you want me to find the beat, stay on the beat, execute these moves, and sing at the same time? Y'all playing too much. That's really what I was thinking at the time, right? But it was a huge challenge for me, right? And not even to mention the what is that called? Polyrhythmic. Not even we ain't even talking about that. So within the different songs or the different rhythms, there's a lot going on in African music. And oftentimes your body parts are moving with different tempos within the music, right? So your feet, your hands, your head, your torso may be moving in different ways, or should I say, moving to different tempos within the music. So that again was different for me. I was used to finding the beat, like a basic R&B or soul type of thing. It's one, uh, it's one particular beat, or it's dun 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 dun, whatever, right? You find that beat, you got it. But with African music, it's different because it might be a fast beat, boom, 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 in that one song, and a boom, boom, boom. And maybe my head and my feet are going to the fast beat, but maybe my arms and my torso is going to the slow beat. So it was a lot going on, right? So when they say polyrhythmic, that's a real thing. So it was oftentimes, a lot of times in the class, everybody be going this way and I'm going this way. Or I'm always like off the beat, or I'm always like 2 or 3 steps behind. So that was a very humbling experience for me. Like I said, for someone who had been dancing, had, been told I was a good dancer, felt I was a good dancer, to be put in this type of a setting, I felt like, dang, I felt like I had 2 left feet. So I just remember going to classes, and then as time went on, that was at one particular class. But as time went on, I was intrigued. Even though I was embarrassed and I felt silly and just silly and just offbeat and awkward in the classes a lot of times, I said, I want to learn this. It was enough to captivate me. And like I said, at the time, didn't really think about it like, oh, I'm growing my self-esteem or my self-confidence. No, I didn't think about it like that. I just thought about it like it was something I wanted to learn. It was something that immediately captivated me. It was interesting. It held my interest. So I took that first initial Afro Haitian class. And then after that, I began to take a lot of other different African dance classes, moving on to like, Afro Cuban, Afro Haitian, Afro Brazilian, like I said, West African, whether it be from Guinea, from Senegal, from Mali, from South Africa, Angola, right? So I took a lot of different styles of African dance, and they were all very, very interesting and very intriguing. And also, whenever you go into a different African dance class, you have to look at the fact that there are, even within one African country, there are so many different ethnic groups, and each one has their own set of dances, music, drumming, not even to mention reasons that they do the dances for, whether it's for a baby, whether it's for marriage, whether it's for someone passing, right? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different rhythms. They all mean something different. They're done for particular reasons. They're done for, or done by different parts of the population. Some are just for the elderly, some are for the young people, some for the men, some for the women. There's a lot going on, right? And there's a lot to learn. So going from even different styles of dance, landing into a new dance class was something totally different. You're learning something, you're learning everything all over again, basically. So that's a constant situations of going into uncharted territory, um, going outside of my comfort zone. So what ended up happening is, as I graduated and started going to larger dance classes, now they weren't at the school, they were out in the community. So the whole vibe was different. And I remember being in those classes and feeling so self-conscious and so embarrassed. And I remember, like, I didn't even, like, a lot of times we would dance in front of a mirror, and I didn't even want to be seen. I remember, because I'm very short. I'm like 5'2". And at the time I was like a little over 100 pounds. I mean, I'm way over 100 pounds now, but we're talking in the mid 90s, mid to late 90s. And so it was easy for me to kind of hide behind somebody. So I would find somebody in the class that was bigger than me, taller than me, and I would just kind of get behind them, because I didn't want anybody to see what I was doing. I didn't want the teacher to see that I was messing up. I didn't want to see myself in the mirror. Because like I said, you think of a dance studio, and oftentimes they'll have a mirror like in the front where you can see yourself. I didn't want to look at myself. Like I said, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I felt I wanted to learn it. I wanted to get it. But at the same time, I knew I was messing up, and I didn't want people to see me. I didn't want people to judge me. I didn't want to see myself or judge myself. So I remember that anxiety, that second guessing, that fear, that shame that I felt, while at the same time still wanting to learn it, and just, I want to get this, I want to get this. So, but I kept going back. I kept going back. And as time went on, I began to believe in myself. Once you get yourself into enough uncomfortable situations, how they say, do it scared, and you come out on the top, or you learn it, or it wasn't as bad as you thought, or you caught on, or whatever the case, right? You basically rise to the occasion. And once you do that over and over and over again, you begin to build your self confidence. And what that does is it tells yourself that, hey, I can do this, because you're looking at where you came from. When I first started this class, let's just say, I don't know, 6 months ago, I didn't know my right from my left. I didn't understand the music. I didn't understand the dances. I didn't know why they were doing them or what they were for. Who did them. I didn't know diddly squat, let's just say, right? But now, look how much I've learned. I don't know everything, of course, but I know enough to be able to go and actually do it and enjoy it, and even be able to teach it to somebody, right? And it was a process. So once you force yourself, notice I said force yourself, because going outside of your comfort zone is not easy, because you're outside of your comfort zone. You don't know what to expect. It's like you treading in water, right? Like you out in the ocean somewhere treading in water. You look treading water, and you looking around for somebody to throw you a what do you call it, like a life vest, or send a lifeboat for you or something, right? But you gotta depend on yourself to float out there and to stay afloat, right? And once you keep doing that over and over and over again, what that does is that begins to have you to believe in yourself, right? You say to yourself like, dang, well, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it, but I did it. you know, and I did it. And don't let it be like, damn, I did a good job. I really pulled this off. And once you do that over and over again, you begin to build up that belief in yourself. And that belief in yourself is your self confidence, because now you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that with time, with practice, with being resourceful, knowing the right people, whatever things you got to put your hands on, to either help you or you doing it yourself, you begin to believe in yourself and you know that you can do it. You know that whatever is put in front of you, that you will be able to do it, right? And the reason I mentioned too about different resources, that more so goes into the business aspect of it. Because on a personal note, like the story that I shared with you, you can begin today, just even on a personal level, even not even dealing with business. On a personal level, you can begin to challenge yourself doing different things, whether it's, I don't know, it could be taking a dance class, it could be taking a cooking class, it could be stepping up and volunteering for a role at church, right? Maybe they're looking for somebody to run, I don't know, Wednesday night Bible study, or something over here in the I don't know, some other group or something you belong to in the community, or maybe this time around you volunteer to plan your family reunion, your next upcoming family reunion. Just throwing stuff out there. I'm just saying different opportunities in your personal life that typically you would shy away from or think like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I don't have time to do that, or I just can't do it. Just period. I just can't do it. I don't trust myself. Right? You go ahead and say, I'll do it. Right. And that builds the belief in yourself to be able to handle whatever task you want to handle. Right. And then you move that. And what happens is you begin to have a stronger belief in yourself. And now you can move that to other areas of your life. So let's just say you do that with something like a Bible study group or church choir, let's just say, and then you succeed in that, you begin to be comfortable putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and you take that and you expand that into other areas of your life. So let's just say business. Like I said, I focus on women entrepreneurs, right? So you take those skills of believing in yourself, knowing that even if it's something you're unfamiliar with, you're going to do what you got to do to get it, to be able to succeed at it. And you can take that and apply that to anything. So when you look at the business, even though you may be a new business owner, or maybe you're a seasoned business owner, but you're moving into a new category, you're in uncharted, excuse me, uncharted territory, right? And take that same skill, even though it's new, you don't know anything about it, but you trust in yourself, right? And in your abilities to be able to do it. Now, you're trusting in yourself. And a part of that, which is what I mentioned earlier about the resources, a part of that is whatever you don't know, you have enough confidence in yourself to know that you're gonna figure it out. You know who to go to figure it out, right? Oh, I don't know this. I can go to YouTube University. Or I don't know this. I can Google it. Or I can get this person's ebook. I can learn about it. Or I know this person over here. This is their area of expertise. I'm gonna sit down and talk to them. Or even hire them to do it for me or to show me how to do it. So that's also a component of it. You believe in yourself and your own abilities, but you also know that you are resourceful and that you know how to get a hold of whatever you need to know or learn or have or tool or whatever to be able to do what you need to do and to get it done. And not just get it done, but get it done successfully. Right. And that's really all self confidence is the belief in yourself and in your abilities to achieve whatever goal you set for yourself or for your business. So, whatever personal, professional goal you have that you set for yourself, you now know that without a shadow of a doubt, with time, intention, and consistency, you will be able to achieve that goal, hands down. And like I said, and that's the basis of it. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, my name is Dr. Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and You are on the Eight Queens Roundtable channel here on YouTube, so definitely make sure you subscribe. This channel is specifically dedicated to personal, professional, and leadership development for women in business to help you scale your business, to help you continue to grow in your business, to basically help you become a better version of yourself today than you were, or a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today. So if that is your goal, if that's your focus, definitely make sure you subscribe, tell a friend, tell a colleague. If if you think they will benefit from it, and let them subscribe as well. Definitely feel free to share this video out. And again, until next time. And let me know in the comments if this was helpful for you, or if there's something else that you another personal development, professional development, or leadership development topic that you would like to hear more about. Let me know that in the chat as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Take care.